Hi guys, welcome back, and in this section we are going to talk about the preliminary phase of ADM. So this will be our first section, and what are we going to cover in this? We are going to touch base on all of this, that is adapting the ADM, architecture content framework, TOGAF reference model, architecture capability framework. From the TOGAF conformance level, we can quickly check what we are going to cover is the preliminary phase. So our learning outcome is going to be this. So we will be understanding the inputs to the phase. We'll be talking about the architecture framework, business principles, goals, the influence of the pre-existing architecture, and then we will be establishing an enterprise architecture team and the outputs, followed by a security influence of the phases. Now, while we will be talking about the preliminary phase, which is section unit 1, we will be also talking about architecture governance. We will be touching that. We will be talking about the business scenario. We will be also talking about content framework. This is the content framework. We will be talking about stakeholder management. We will be also touching the content meta model. While we will be going through this preliminary phase, we will be talking about architecture partitioning also. So let me find out where the architecture partitioning is there. Here it is. So we will be talking about the architecture partitioning, then architecture repository, and we will be, of course, based upon the guidelines, whatever TOGAF has given for iterations and labels, we will be following through, because we are already in the ADM and we are talking about the preliminary phase. So obviously we are going to touch this part. Then we are also going to touch the ADM security part. So one last thing, that is about guidelines about adapting the SOA will also be covered here. Okay, so these are the 10 sections which, along with the preliminary phase, we will be talking about. So end of this lesson, you will be almost done with 11 units of the 27 units which we have to learn for TOGAF level 2. Now that you have seen from the TOGAF conformance level where you are going to cover around 11 units, let me show you a quick glance of all parts of the preliminary what I am going to cover. I will be talking about the inputs. I will be talking about the problems in scenario based. I will be talking about where to start from. I will be talking about the business use case, what we will be covering. I will be also talking about the business model, business drivers, the locations, the viewpoints. I will be also covering about the business drivers, the business goals, the tailoring part, the architecture principles. We will look into the architecture repositories. We will see how architecture vision requirements are met. We will also see the TOGAF artifacts, how to derive the content meta model, divisions, how the meta model looks like, the governance of an insurance company, the governance environment, the cockpit phase diagram, the security part of it, the architecture partitioning, the portfolio teams, how they operate, and the frameworks what we finally derive into, and the deliverables and artifact of the preliminary phase. And finally, we will be doing a quick summary of the preliminary phase of ADM before jumping into the next phase. So guys, we will see you each other inside the preliminary section. Let's move on.